From the Black Swan Media Studios, deep inside a secret underground bunker, we're speaking to freedom-loving patriots from all around the country and the world. Welcome to the Resistance. This is John Crump, live.
And we are back for another wonderful episode of John Crump Live. I am joined by my co-host and my life partner, Flying Rich. No, he's not my life partner.
Soon to be roommate.
What? Okay, I have no idea what the hell that's supposed to mean, but don't want him to know. Okay, let me say hi to some of the people out there. We got Ron Bear out there, Johnny Barr, Johnny 3 Bar, Kurt 24, Zanti Misfit. Who else do we got? C&T Coop is out there. We have also I did see something I wanted to say something. Live life, man. Yeah, I hope you get another job. He lost his job apparently. Prayers go out to you, bud.
Wow.
Michael's out there as well, and Kim 31 actual. We have Flying Reich out there, and Warsaw Patriot, and some other people. So yeah, so our guest is running a little bit late because we have issues with time zones on this channel. And
I want to say hi to Flying Reich, and of course, Matt Hoover's wife. I hate saying sugar tits. I just feel wrong saying that, but
I'd say Erica. Dude, we need an update on Matty Boy here. Whenever. I'm gonna write him.
Yeah, so I gotta say, I am getting to be like all sorts of full of first world problems. I'm like, I couldn't get my pressure washer started. I put a new carburetor on it recently. And I'm like, I drained the carburetor, check this, check that. I grab a spare plug. I don't see a spark. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Shoot some carb cleaner in it, boom, it kicks over. I'm like, okay, great. And I'm ready to wash my car because I neglected it. And then the nozzle's clogged. I'm like, so I like order a new one on Amazon and then grab a dental pick and a water pick or knockoff water pick. And I got it clean. I was able to freaking clean my car. So it's like, I'm just going to get a new pressure washer. I'm like, really? Like first world problems? And meanwhile, people are getting their cars totaled, don't have a job, and I'm thinking I got problems.
Yeah. Well, that is a problem.
Yeah, it's again, extreme first world problems. It's like, my helicopter's in for a paint and I can't fly. I would have to drive. Have a freight pressure washer. Yeah, I mean, I got a decent pressure washer. You know what it is? I've been leaving it outside, and I did start. When I turn it off, I turn the fuel valve off and run the carb dry, so no fuel sits in the carb and goes to crap. But stuff.
Yeah. Warsaw Patriot, I am aware of that. Basically, it's a discharge. You know what?
What do we know?
All right, let's just go live. Since our guest is running late, we'll go live, and then on
Go
the
live.
other
You're
on
gonna
Junk
break
Up News.
news? Or
It's not breaking news. It's not even big news, but I've gotten like 80 messages about it.
Oh, okay. And what's the it? It's not Wayne Lafayette's $17 million golden parachute, is it?
No, let's just go live now. Here we go.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
No, I've just gotten like 80 calls about it in like the last hour. So might as well go live.
She's it.
All right. Well, okay, you can bring her on. We'll talk about this in a second. Just wanted to make a quick little live video. Then we're gonna go back to streaming only on John Crump Live. I'm doing this because I keep on getting calls, so you guys can stop calling me and emailing me. There is a bill, not a bill. It's called something called a discharge petition in Congress. Basically, the way it gets brought up for vote is they vote to end debate and go ahead and bring it up. Leadership usually works on that. Well, whatever. There is a California Democrat in the Senate named DeGetz who is using what is called a discharge petition. What a discharge petition means is if you get 218 people to sign it, it forces a floor vote, and this would be for a magazine ban. Well, right, there's 213 Democrats in the House of Representatives, which you can count on all of them signing it. So that's 213. So you need to have 5 other Republicans that will switch over to sign it. Right now, there's Fitzpatrick out of Pennsylvania. He's definitely going to sign it because he is more anti-gun than most Democrats. So he's going to sign it, and there might be 1 or 2 others. I don't think.
So this is federal you're talking about.
This is federal, yeah. So I don't think this is going to reach 218 votes, but it's just good to know about it. And for everyone out there, yeah, that is what's going on John Crump News. I just wanted to let everyone know that I do know about it. I am monitoring it. It was expected, but it's not expected to get the 218 votes to.
There's going to be no traction on it.
There's going to be no traction on it. And let's say they do get 218 votes, and it does get the votes to get out of the House, which it won't. But let's say it does, then it will go to the Senate. In the Senate, you need a supermajority to pass anything, and they do not have that whatsoever. They do not have supermajority, so it will not pass. So this bill, although we need to be aware of it, it's not as bad as, an imminent threat, so to speak.
Gotcha. I mean, this is just like a liberal politician being able to say, well, I brought it to the floor and they shot it down. I'm trying to ban these things. And
yeah, but it's not going to happen. It is definitely not going to happen. But yeah, just wanted to make everyone aware of what is going on, and just wanted to make a quick little live here just to do it. We're going to go back over to John Crump Live right now, and the magazine ban bill. They're trying to do rip curl readiness. They're trying to do a petition to get it passed. But yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. But just to be aware of it. But anything can happen in Congress, right? Because they're Congress critters. They're not exactly. John Peterson, hello from Pennsylvania. Yep, Fitzpatrick, the Republican, is going to probably back it because he is not a good guy. All right, guys, that's it. We're gonna switch back over to John Crump News, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I was aware of what is going on here. All right, guys, and we will see you guys back on John Crump News once I figure out how to end this damn stream over here. of John Crump
Joeylynn,
Live.
thank you for patiently waiting with us and rushing to be on. We had a time zone miscommunication, and she thought it was an hour from now that she was going to come on, and she's like, "Hey, I'll rush on." I'm like, "Thank you."
Thank you for making it happen. Sorry about that.
That's great. I'm glad to have you on. And John, Joeylynn wanted to meet you. You weren't on last time I had her on. I don't know if I was on with Dark. Was that who I had on with me, or?
It was solo. You were flying solo.
Oh, I was flying solo. Okay. So Joeylynn is like one of the world's worst criminals.
Rich,
Yeah.
I'm going about to end the stream on John Crump News. So if you want to continue watching this, you'll be redirected to John Crump Live. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream right now and see you guys later on John Crump Live News. I mean, whatever. All right, we're done. All right, we're back to John Crump.
Okay.
Live.
So Joeylynn is a hardened criminal. You can tell by that smile, and you know she's just like a really bad person. And I figured we would just have criminals on the show from now on. So the Joeylynn is going to be the first of our line of criminals coming on. Joeylynn, you want to tell the people what evil you did commit?
Yes. So despite what the media has portrayed, we are in a civil lawsuit, but the media has portrayed us to appear to be political extremists, domestic terrorists, and to have committed some sort of a crime, which never happened. My husband and I, along with a couple of other Texans, are being sued under the Ku Klux Klan law in federal court by Biden's White House officials, Democrat politicians, and Biden-Harris campaign staff for driving next to the Biden bus in 2020. Most everybody remembers that viral footage, and flying Trump flags, which the occupants of the bus claim to have given them emotional damage. And they say they're seeking financial compensation, but as we've been in this for about 3.5 years, it's pretty obvious what they're after is conservative free speech rights.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is clearly lawfare, where the process is the punishment. They're taking, you know, just like whether it's Rudy Giuliani or anybody in the Trump sphere, or you showing your patriotism and your support of your candidate. So this whole thing infuriates me. One, because I've seen videos where they park a car with Trump bumper stickers in a bad neighborhood on it, and it gets like destroyed in an hour. And they park a car in the same parking lot with Biden stickers, and nobody touches it. Mm-hmm. You guys did nothing. You rode by the so it wasn't the No Malarkey Express at the time. It was the what was it called? The bus?
So the bus was the Biden-Harris campaign bus for the presidential election, and the side of it said Biden-Harris battle for the soul of the nation.
So Biden wasn't on the bus. Harris wasn't on the bus.
Mm-mm. No.
Who was on the bus?
There were 3 people on the bus, maybe 4 that we're aware of. The bus driver, Wendy Davis, who is a notorious far left, progressive, women's rights, pro-abortion individual here in Texas. And she has run for governor in our state, and she's been a former House representative. And she was at the time running against Chip Roy for Congress, and then a Biden-Harris campaign staffer. And those individuals, along with one other Biden-Harris staffer, are who is suing us, claiming they have emotional damage.
That is
they have emotional damage, all right.
Can you sue them for filing what's called a SLAPP lawsuit?
So we looked at, great question. We looked at anti-SLAPP laws here in Texas and really what options we had. And it's pretty concerning that if you file an anti-SLAPP lawsuit against somebody that's suing you frivolously, which they definitely are, if you can't prove it and win that, counterclaim, you're responsible for all of their legal fees. And they have 20 plus Washington, D.C. attorneys and multiple nonprofits funding this lawsuit, spending every dollar possible to rake up these huge, huge bills. We wouldn't have been able to pay that. And at the time, I don't think we could have proved it like we can now. We knew it, certainly. But what we chose to do instead was try to get the lawsuit dismissed by going through the judge and filing a motion to dismiss it, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And then even writing in a writ of mandamus, filing that motion with the Fifth Circuit. But we just have not had luck getting this lawsuit dismissed. And we're actually headed to trial by jury in federal court in June this year, nearly 4 years later.
Now, where is this court?
It's the Western District Court. It's situated in Texas, but it is federal court.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so-
Who's your judge?
It's Judge Robert Pittman. He's Obama appointed.
Yeah.
And he is, he's known for overturning Texas's heartbeat bill before Roe v. Wade was overturned. He's also a judge in cases that is ruling sexually explicit books in children's sections of the library that have been pulled due to parent concern. He's ruled that they be put back on the shelves for free speech rights, and he's very biased, clearly.
Yeah, I mean, you could have gotten a good judge there. There's a lot of good judges there. Robert Pittman is not one of them, though. So.
Yeah, you lost that lottery. I'm sorry.
But I think even no matter what happens, the Fifth Circuit's going to throw this out.
We thought that, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with a writ of mandamus. I was not. Yeah. It's only because I'm in this that I learned about it. It's a very rare motion to file, and I believe the Fifth Circuit or any circuit court hears less than 1% of them that are brought to them. But we thought we might stand a chance. We met the criteria and proved basically that our lawsuit was so frivolous and abusive that we needed immediate relief and did not have the ability to go through a trial through the district court, the federal district court, and get a ruling and then appeal to Fifth Circuit. We wanted to circumvent the process and get straight to them to try to save resources. And when they assigned a panel of Trump-appointed judges to our filing with them, they agreed with us when they responded that it was frivolous and it was abusive. And they not only affirmed the 2 cases that we cited for case law, but they added several others. But still, in the end, they ruled that we needed to go through the process at the district court with a trial by jury.
Yeah, that happens a lot. They don't really like stepping over the lower courts.
Exactly.
So I mean, doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
But even if you lose on appeal, you guys would win, and I don't think the Supreme Court would even take it. So
I agree with you.
I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you guys to waste money so you will have less money for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Which they've been successful. So we cashed out our 401k to retain an attorney. We've spent about $150,000 in legal defenses just right now getting through discovery. We've not even made it to trial yet. We started fundraising to stay in the fight because just by default, they would win if we can't afford to defend ourselves. And I wasn't willing to roll over and take it. I believe that we have these freedoms that have been given to us by God, and I believe they need to be defended. And all other freedoms flow from, the freedoms that we have from God. And Amen. I just know that good men and women died to establish those freedoms and then to defend them. And it would be unthinkable, in my opinion, to just
so you were playing bumper cars with the bus. You ran the bus off the road, right? That's what happened.
Okay, here's what's crazy. That was the narrative in the media for the last 3 years, right? Okay,
I don't really see that in the court files, though.
Correct. So Biden himself said we ran the bus off the road. We've got on a press release. We have all kinds of celebrities, talk shows, influencers, politicians saying we ran the bus off the road, including the 14th Amendment hearing in Colorado to get Trump off the ballot. That prosecuting attorney's opening statement included video footage of the Trump train driving next to the Biden bus, where he claims we forced the bus off the road, yet there's no video footage while it's just vehicles driving next to the bus while he's saying that. Surely, if we ran the bus off the road, that would be the video that's playing, right? And we'd be facing criminal charges in prison, right? And so, people really believe what they're hearing in the headlines, but what truth has come out through this discovery process is 2 major takeaways. One, we have footage from inside the bus.
Yes.
So we can hear the bus driver, Wendy Davis, the occupants of the bus saying they want to run us the blank right over, ram the bus into our blank, they really wanted to injure and inflict damage and harm to Trump supporters. And this is Biden-Harris campaign and elected officials. This is insane to me that they are actually saying and doing what the media is lying that we never did.
When I saw that, I immediately thought of you. I'm like, case over, case over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, let me get this out of the way first. Do you have a fundraiser, or you said you had a fundraiser? Do we have the link, Rich?
Yeah, let me get that.
Thank
What
you
is
so
it?
much. So our website, which is a great place to access the fundraiser, is freespeechdefender.com. And there's a give tab that launches you to our Give, Send, Go, because we definitely didn't go through GoFundMe. So at freespeechdefender.com, we post our legal updates. We have our story. There's a 90-second video that you can share with your friends and family, like, oh my gosh, did you know this was going on? It's kind of a landing page in case we get booted off social media, which definitely happens. And we just want to be able to stay in touch with our supporters and keep them updated because it's been stretched out over such a long period of time.
Yeah, well, that has been shared everywhere, and we're running a crawl at the bottom. So if you guys can help out, go ahead and help out. And to tell you the truth, I'm not a Trump supporter at all. But what's going on with you guys is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, it proves to be more and more ridiculous every day. I think the most recent thing that I just grasped the level of the severity of it was this week. We had access to a report that has been in the works for over a year, where essentially Ivy League professors were recruited by the plaintiffs suing us to research us and give their expert opinion on if we're political extremists. And their findings are that we are. Not only that, some of these same names can be found to be expert witnesses in the 14th Amendment hearing against Trump, where they brought up our situation with the Biden bus, claiming we forced off the road and trying to keep a presidential candidate off the ballot. So we're lying about average Americans. We're portraying them a certain way, and then we're using that information to interfere with elections. And that is big scale.
Yeah. So, have you reached out to like IJ or anything, Institute for Justice, or any other organizations?
Over 50, including most of the notorious ones that everybody first recommends. And so like the ACLJ or Liberty First or Alliance Defending Freedom, they've all denied our application, saying that they specialize primarily in religious freedom and definitely not in political free speech. They all say that it falls outside the scope because it can compromise their 501c3 tax exempt status to be partisan. And then it's just not something they're willing to get involved with. And they're not the only ones who have told us they're not willing to get involved. Every single elected official that represents us, that we're constituents of, is unwilling to get involved as well, saying it's a conflict of interest. Yeah. And for me, when you swear an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution and you represent me and I vote for you, that is not a conflict of interest for you to get involved and help me. I'm not asking you to represent me legally. I'm not asking you to fundraise for me, but helping connect us to media or speaking about it when you're saying, hey, vote for me because I'm going to make sure that your free speech rights really are free. And then they're just like, no, you understand why we can't get involved. I don't. I absolutely don't. And I've been very disheartened to notice and experience that along the way.
Have you been on One American News?
No, I have not.
Would you want to be?
Yes. Desperately.
I'll hook that up.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. And I can't thank you enough, because the reality is that when we get our story out there, people are so taken by it and they understand the magnitude of it, how it can set a federal precedent for free speech rights. They're activated to get involved and to help, to get behind us, to donate for our legal defense and help us stay in the game. But when we don't have a voice and we can't get our story out there, there's no way we can counter mainstream media. We don't have the media in the pocket. In fact, that's how we found out we were getting sued, you guys, was from a national press release that they had an agreement with CNN that CNN would get to cover the story first. And that went out, and that's how we heard about it. Friends are sending it to us. And it wasn't until 4 weeks later we actually got served to even understand the scope of the lawsuit. So we've been battling big media this whole time.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get this off to the people I know over there. I'm gonna write the
Thank
email
you.
as we're doing that. I'm sure they'll have you on.
That's a huge help. And, I've got that footage from inside the bus. We were wanting to break that. We want to share that and show people the other side of the story, that the media lied. That story went viral, and almost nobody knows what has happened after or what the truth is.
Now, the
pretty
other
well
thing,
connected. I can help you.
Thank you.
So they sued, was it the county police or the sheriff?
Yeah, this is a great update for the show. So they, in addition to suing us, a completely separate lawsuit, they sued the city of San Marcos, Texas. They initially started with the police department and expanded it to be the entire city. After 2 years of litigation. Yeah, and so the claims, it's under the Ku Klux Klan law, and they're claiming that basically the police department enabled us to be domestic terrorists by not responding to their calls for help. And so they sued them under the Ku Klux Klan law. Again, no criminal charges, just seeking financial compensation. And after 2 years of litigation, the police department and the city settled with them, apologizing and promising. So they paid out $175,000 of no doubt taxpayer money for this emotional damage, right? And then they agreed to put their entire police force through political violence training in preparation for 2024. And then they made a public apology statement. So congratulations, San Marcos Police Department, for rolling over and setting a precedent, and now allowing your police force to potentially abuse more conservatives who are exercising free speech during upcoming elections.
Holy cow. And other people in this case have settled, correct?
Yes. So when we were initially sued, there were 5 defendants. My husband and I were 2 of them. There's a grandmother, a single gentleman, and then there was an 18-year-old girl. She did not have legal representation. You could tell that she was very scared and unsure of really what was going on. Very quiet. After 2 years of trying to represent herself, and we're talking, okay, they have 20 attorneys. So when you represent yourself, you're getting the email correspondence. You're supposed to understand these filings and how to respond to them. Sometimes there's 20 emails a day. You don't understand the jargon. She was so overwhelmed. There's no doubt in my mind. And you can tell from the apology statement that was signed by her that I think an average person could conclude she probably didn't write that. And so when she signed that, she basically agreed to testify against any remaining defendants and in order to be let out of the case, right? But her signature on that apology statement was damning to those of us that are remaining, because it admits to and confesses things that we didn't do, that just didn't happen, like a premeditated plan to intimidate Blacks and minorities from voting. Like, that's not. Yes, and that's just not what happened. And then the kicker, on the final day of the 2-year statute of limitations, they add her mother and father as defendants on the lawsuit, and she'll be called to testify against them with us, those that are remaining. And so yes, so she and her boyfriend signed the apology letter and settled. And guys, I wish that she had stuck with it, especially with this footage that has come out from inside the bus. But those of us that are remaining, we are a united force to continue fighting to get a win for not just those of us in the lawsuit, but for all Americans.
So
and
I'm going to hook you with Tim Pool as well.
Oh my gosh, that would be next level.
Okay.
Thank you. And can I just say, this Ku Klux Klan law, this is what concerns me after being in this for so long. Everybody's like, what the heck is the Ku Klux Klan law? Where did that come from? Why are they using that law? Here's what's scary. This law is popcorning up in case after case. So Trump is getting sued under the Ku Klux Klan law for January 6th. Dinesh D'Souza is getting sued under the Ku Klux Klan law for 2,000 mules.
No way.
Yeah, they claimed election interference with that. The gentleman who did the Hillary meme, they brought the Ku Klux Klan law against him with criminal charges. Brandon Stratka with the Walk Away campaign was sued under the Ku Klux Klan law as well. And so what's happening is they have found this little cookie cutter blueprint, It's like, hey, this is easy. Like, let's start using this when we don't like what people are doing or saying. And we'll say that we feel that our civil liberties have been infringed upon and that we have emotional damage. It's ruining people's lives and it's gaining momentum.
Ouch. Ouch.
Yeah.
I'm just stuck. I hate to say it. I don't know what the Ku Klux Klan law is. I know it's been brought against a number of people recently, but I didn't realize
It's
this
voter
is
intimidation. Basically, they're saying you're intimidating voter. It's really dumb.
Yeah. So the Ku Klux Klan law was established by Republicans who were helping emancipate slaves to vote, work, and go to school. And the party of the Ku Klux Klan was the Democrat Party. And they did not want this, right? And so they are literally killing and assaulting individuals that are trying, like Black individuals who are trying to work, vote, and go to school. They are physically harming them. And any Republican trying to help them that got in the way was as well swept up into the violence. And so the Republican Party put this law into place to criminally prosecute the Ku Klux Klan from intimidating minorities from voting. And it was very important at the time. And it was very, very critical. The fact that they're using it now is nuts. And I'll tell you why. Well, we already know it's nuts. But the law was put into place to protect average Americans from people in positions of authority and power that included police, government, and military. Okay. And so it was meant for people to defend themselves against the state. What's happening now is the state is using that law against average Americans.
Right. I'm talking to another guy who has a major show. He might want you as well.
Thank you. God bless you. We have felt so silenced and so frustrated by that. Like, we know this story is big, but we have no connections and no resources. And I don't even think people take me seriously when I say, like, I'll meet them at a convention or an event and be like, my name is Joeylynn. I'm getting sued by Biden's White House officials under the Ku Klux Klan law. And they look kind of like, okay, crazy lady, you know.
And Rich didn't tell you to reach out to me about it? Rich.
I'm sorry, John. I think I tried to get you in contact with Chris Ann Hall.
Yes, I'm not sure that went anywhere. So very, very lovely. And she's an attorney, right?
Yeah.
So we already have legal representation. So I think it kind of fizzled out in the fact that we're already represented. And then, you know, I think I might have asked if there were any media connections we could make, and I'm just not sure that it went anywhere.
Actually, Chris Ann, she's moved up in the media world, so she's like a regular commentator. But so it might be
maybe things have changed. Yeah, I will totally follow up, and I know this world sometimes requires that.
A little bit of a nudge.
Squeaking of the wheel, yeah.
Yeah, I'll hit up Sebastian Gorka as well.
That would be incredible. You know what? My gosh, I could cry. I'm so blessed by this. We have been trying to reach him for 3 years with just no real luck. And
I'll just text him.
My gosh, that'd be incredible. I am so ready to break this story open and for people to know the truth and to see the other side of the story and to actually get behind the fight. So that we can see a win. You know, I think the plaintiffs have been very arrogant and very cocky this whole time, that they control the narrative, they control the media, and they can push things through with their 20 attorneys and trying to bankrupt us and the biased, you know, assignment we have in the district court. And I know that God's timing is perfect, and that when he's ready to help us, he will. And I just have been praying and praying, Lord, on my own effort cannot make anything happen. I'm so frustrated from spinning my wheels. I'm like a little hamster in the cage and I go nowhere. And then stuff like this just really encourages me and feels like an answer to prayers we've been praying for years. Thank you.
You might hear some dinging going on, but I'm contacting a friend at Fox News.
Gosh. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. My heart is pounding out of my chest with gratitude.
So yeah, John does know everybody. So all right, I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. The girl, the 18-year-old girl that basically pled and wrote an apology letter, her and her boyfriend, was she in the car? Was she driving? What was her situation?
So she and her boyfriend were in a vehicle. She was a passenger and he was driving. And if you've seen the footage where I show clips of the dash cam footage inside the bus, you can see their white vehicle. They're in a white pickup truck. And her younger brother, a minor at the time, I believe he was 16 or 17 years old, is in the car while the bus driver is saying he just wants to ram them off the highway. So there's a child in the car while this is happening. So Hannah is that defendant. She's a passenger in that white vehicle, and her boyfriend Kyle was driving. Her parents were not even part of the Trump train that day. Her father founded it and was at work that day. And her mother helped run the Facebook page where they were convinced we were collaborating some sort of giant mastermind plan to suppress minorities from voting and to run the bus off the road.
Pump the brakes right there. I want to stop you on that point. You communicate excellently. I could just sit back and not talk, and you'd have the whole show covered. So what you got to realize is what the left does is they accuse you of what they're doing themselves. They have a mastermind plan.
Yes.
And that's why they're saying, look at these mega Republicans. They have a mega network to, run the Biden bus off the road. I'm like, and then what? Why would we want to run the Biden bus off the road? Who cares?
Right. And I had my child in the vehicle at the time, a third or fourth grader at the time. Why on earth would we take a vehicle, a F-150, and put it into a 60,000-pound bus with my child in the car? We're just trying to campaign to exercise free speech. And we hoped, our biggest hope that day was that maybe we'd pick up news coverage and Trump would see the support he had in Texas. Because at the time, the drone footage was covering Trump trains that were miles long, right? And so when we heard the Biden bus was coming through at the very last minute, we're like, that'd be fine.
There's nobody there. There's no Biden bus train or whatever.
Oh, no, there's not. There's nothing. And you know what? They don't even have a police escort. Why on earth would you not plan to have some sort of caravan if you're traveling through? And so when they drove through our town, they called 911 saying they felt like we were, harassing them and they wanted police to respond. Well, the police responded and made a statement that they found everything in order and didn't see anything concerning. They pulled off. The bus went on to the next town. Well, when they hit San Marcos, Texas, San Marcos was like, we don't have any police available to give you an escort. You're going to be in and out of the town in 5 minutes. If a situation escalates, call us and somebody will respond. But we can't just send you an escort at the drop of the hat. Well, the same nonprofits funding this lawsuit are also campaigning to defund the police, but they want to be able to call them at the drop of the hat and have them give them an escort. And then when they don't, to sue them and to have taxpayers pay out for their emotional damage. And this is what gets me the most about that. It was Wendy Davis's voter base, right? So had she won, I would have been her constituent. So she's suing a would-be constituent for dissenting or disagreeing. So she sued the police department, and her voter base, people who voted for her, had to pay her for her emotional damage because she couldn't handle political free speech, which in its very nature is offensive because you either agree or you disagree, and it's protected under the Constitution. And if you're running for office, you should be able to handle that.
Right. So I'm like, so this case just blows my mind. And it's, they're driving through, they're not forced off the road, they don't have any support. Do you think that they intentionally went through neighborhoods that were red, hoping for conflict?
Oh gosh, in retrospect, absolutely. Especially because it was all over the news at the time. Our area specifically was getting national news coverage for the size of our Trump trains that were circling San Antonio. So there was a San Antonio Trump train, and New Braunfels had a pretty big one. We had 4,000 members in a town of 50,000 people. That's huge. And so, but when we would participate with San Antonio, we'd loop the entire city on the massive Loop 410 highway and would get drone coverage of that. And so in retrospect, it's like, did we take the bait? Did they drive through? Yeah. But I don't know.
That's what I wonder is because these people, I believe they have a plan. I believe they have this war gamed out, and they're like, well, we'll go through here and we'll bait these people in.
Right. They already knew we were gathering often and that we would probably show up. And I think they hoped it would have really escalated, but it didn't. And this was before January 6th, right? And so in the impeachment trials with Trump, we were brought up in that as well as being domestic terrorists that were suppressing minorities, and that we were a precursor to the violence that Trump would incite for January 6th, because he tweeted that video of the Trump train with the Biden bus that day and said, "I love Texas." And so they used that tweet in the 14th Amendment hearing and in the impeachment trials, saying that he was inciting violence with political extremists. Meanwhile, they've got experts declaring that we are in fact political extremists. And so it's just very curious to see how it does play out. And I'm with you. They have a very, very tangled web that they weave.
Hey, Rich.
Yes,
Rich,
sir.
Make sure I have their contact information. I got some stuff that's cooking.
Okay.
I'm so excited about that. Gosh, this is awesome. I'm so hyped. We just have not gotten the traction we expected to get. When we first got sued, it was like, okay, well, we're going to be on every news outlet telling them the truth. And it just did not turn out that way.
Right. Yeah. I kind of figured as much myself, because I don't watch TV, and I just figured you were getting the press.
Did you see Barton thinks that if anybody knows Tucker out there, let us know.
Yeah. Oh, I know that he would love this story, especially because it's a free speech matter, and he's got, Harmeet Dillon helping him with a free speech case against, Fox, right? So I'm like, I believe that he would help. It's just a matter of knowing the right people. So thank y'all for leveraging your connections.
I think you might be able to help out with that one.
My gosh, just such an overwhelming answer to prayer. We've been so tired and so weary, refusing to quit, but just feeling so small, right? I'm a homeschool mom. My husband's a plumber. Our son is 13 now. We were just at the time we had just bought a new home, and we were hoping to start a business for my husband, and just everything changed. We took our 401k and the money we had set aside to start the business, and we put it all to a legal defense.
That's crazy.
And
take your 401k. You're not explaining that. What happens is you take a 30% hit on the money that you take out of the 401k.
Yeah, it's not an easy decision to make, to sacrifice something that you've spent your adult life saving for your future. It's a big deal, but we knew it was important enough to make the sacrifice. And we believe that God's a God of restoration. And we just knew that it was worth it. We knew we didn't do anything wrong. And we believe we'll see a victory if we can stick with it. I would never, ever quit, surrender, or apologize, or bow to the woke mob. I'm going to see it through to the very, very end. John, were you trying to say something?
No, I got it.
Okay. Yeah. So what I love, if I could just, there's a lot of like, gosh, this is so sad. This is happening to Americans. Feelings that are probably welling up in your viewers. I just want to encourage anybody that's watching. God has done an amazing thing. I feel like I have found quite a voice in this. My husband and I and my son, as a family, we get involved in matters that never would have been something we would have touched before. And, I'm constantly at city council fighting with the mayor and other city council representatives about the sexually explicit books that are in the library of our town. And I'm trying to rile up other parents to get involved and trying to be the face of some of those efforts. Because I think some people, don't know where to start or are afraid to put their necks out there. But we've already had character assassination and defamation. I mean, we've lost the savings account. What is there really to lose? I think there's everything to gain. And so we've found a purpose, we found a voice, we found a calling, and don't plan on stopping anytime soon. And what I love is in my deposition, one of the first questions the plaintiff's counsel asked me when they were deposing me, along with what year were you born, how long have you been married, was, are you planning on running for office? Like, yeah, you know what? You picked the wrong homeschool mom. You could have just left me alone. So what happens when, God's at work? I was brand new to politics, you guys. We had dipped our toe in the world of politics about 3 weeks before that Biden bus came through. And we were like, wouldn't it be fun if we went and did the Trump train? We see them driving around town. What if we figure out where they meet? And we try to do that too. And then when we heard the Biden bus was coming through, we were like, oh, that'll be fun. And I didn't even know what my First Amendment was when I got sued. I didn't. My neighbor said, that's your First Amendment. They can't do that. And I said, what is that? What does that mean? And
too funny.
I've been hell-bent on a warpath to learn everything that I can and to understand all of my freedoms and to make sure my child knows them to his core. That way nobody can take them away.
Amen. Yeah, right on. I kind of had an argument with one of the guys that's doing open carry in Florida, because Florida's one of 4 states that you can't actually open carry in, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I'm like, why are you doing that? Well, he's like, yeah, if you don't exercise your right, they're going to take it from you. And so the way he does it is, I didn't realize this at the time, he sends a fax to the police department with the law that says I can carry if I'm going fishing or hunting, and while fishing and hunting. So he's like, hey, I'm going to fish on this pier, throws an AR-15 on his shoulder with a gun on his belt, and goes there, and he notified them, he faxed them the regulation, and then they go harass him.
So he follows the process and informs them, so then they react.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like, like you said, if you don't know what your rights are,
right,
they're going to run right over you. And I see this KKK law just like the civil forfeiture law. This is crazy. Because you're not intimidating voters. You're just free speech, and you haven't said, well, we're here to make sure these people don't vote. You've never said anything like that.
Right. Absolutely not. And they can't plan it. They can't prove it because it doesn't exist. And so what they're playing on are emotions in the media and controlling the narrative through the lies, while on the back end they work to interfere on a way broader level, on a federal impacting level that people aren't seeing while they're distracting them with emotions over here. And one thing we haven't talked about, which I meant to bring up sooner, but you guys probably remember and your viewers probably do too, there was a sideswipe that day on the road that the media played on a loop, just viral. It was a white car and a black truck right by the bus. And I think that's probably where the narrative was born, that the bus that we tried to run the bus off the road. The white car was a Biden staffer, and I have footage on my phone that I've turned over in Discovery, along with many other witnesses that have as well. That car was driving like a nut job, in and out of traffic, weaving lanes. I have a photo on my phone where the bus and the white car are taking up almost 4 lanes at a complete diagonal across the freeway. And so as the bus was swerving in and out of traffic, and you can hear them saying they're doing this on purpose on that footage I leaked, the white car goes to get behind the bus in a maneuver, and it just rams into a truck with a Trump flag. And the truck pushed the car back, and both cars kept driving down the road. Nobody even pulled over to assess damage at that time. They just kept driving. And the media takes cell phone footage of a Trump supporter that actually has audio that says, oh my gosh, that white car just hit the black truck. Did you see that?
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yes. Well, they take the audio out and they put it on a loop where the black truck pushes the white car back, and say that we were ramming cars off the road that day. They reference that in the civil complaint, knowing full well that it's a blatant lie. Yeah. But it's up to us to prove it. Guilty until proven innocent, if you have the resources to be able to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just reached out to someone else that's pretty big, and yeah.
Thank you. I will be prayerful that they're captivated and interested in our story.
I think they are.
Thank you so much. Would I be able to send you guys that footage from inside the bus? Would that help to share? Maybe they
absolutely help me.
Okay.
You have John's email. I CC both you guys.
Oh, good. Okay.
One that works with Steven Crowder and talking to him about it.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I've just been trying to reach him this year. He's on my 2024 list of goals.
Well, we know someone who works for him. on the show, on his show.
Man, you guys are helping in such a big way. I'm so blessed by this. I'm so excited. I try to remain optimistic and it's hard, but this really hypes me up.
Yeah, I still, I can't believe this. I think it was your IG feed. I saw the Inside the Bus video. Like, what the heck is that? Now, where did you get that video? Was that part of Discovery?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, it's Discovery. They had to turn over everything.
Yep. And if they happen to have lost anything in Discovery, I can't imagine how much more damning that would be, because what they did turn over, I was like, you knew all along you didn't have a case. You knew it.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. And we knew that, but you have to get to the point of proving it, which is exhausting considering how they drag the process out. But we will not tire. I know that's part of the lawfare game, and I will continue to frustrate them.
Wow. And this is the Biden administration is suing you.
Yeah, so it doesn't say like Biden himself is not suing us, to clarify, but his White House staff is suing us, along with Democrat politicians and campaign staffers and influencers. And if you look these people, it takes 2 seconds to understand the type of people that are suing us. It's surprising and it's not surprising. But I believe they're just tools and pawns in the grand scheme too. I think they feel probably pretty important. They were given the opportunity to be relevant in the media and to come after us and stand to make a buck off of it. But it's way bigger than that. No,
I think it's to try to shut you guys up.
Yeah, and
it's not to shut you guys up. It's to send a message.
Yes, it is. It is to everybody watching.
Yes, yeah, that was definitely. And I hate to say it. I go out with my local Tea Party, a couple other groups, and we were, waving flags for Trump. Trump lives in my neighborhood here. I'm not my neighborhood, but he's a resident of Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
And we would go to this one corner. We called it Trump Corner, PGA and Military Trail. And we were having over 1,000 people. Like, it used to be 20 or 30 of us would show up.
Yep.
It ended up being over 1,000 people would come out and wave a flag. And people would come by, they would give us the finger. They'd shout nasty things. One guy, got out of his car to light. Only one day were there like 24 AstroTurf Biden supporters on the other corner. And, I'm live streaming this stuff on my channel, and I go over there, and one of the Palm Beach town cops was like getting in my face. I'm like, look, this is a public sidewalk. I can walk here. He's like, go to the other side. I'm like, I have the freedom to travel where I want. This is a public sidewalk. I am not, I'm not harassing or intimidating people. Nothing like that. And like you say, they will do whatever they can to silence you or make you an example.
Yes.
To warn off other people that have an opinion.
And they're effective. We've had lots of friends that are like, oh, we support you, but you understand why we can't really associate with you, right? Like, best of luck to you. Or, we're not going to fly our flags anymore. We took them down. I'm like, watch me continue. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not that I live on a public road or a public road. It's a dirt road. And, nobody comes down except maybe 6 or 8 people that live in the neighborhood. But yeah, I got a Trump flag out front. I got American flag, a Trump flag. But they were actually trying to silence John and I on a case that we were reporting on. And just like you said, somebody we know in the firearms community is like, yeah, I don't want to sign that amicus brief. I don't want people to know who I am and, put a light on me. And it's like somebody prominent in the community. It's like, really? I'd want to out them, but I'm not. I'm just not that person.
Right.
But thanks to GOA, John's connections with GOA, they flew in an F ton of lawyers.
Wow.
And intimidated the crap out of the prosecution.
They're
like, yeah, we withdraw.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They showed up with more lawyers than we showed up with more lawyers than what they had.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, from different parts of the country. in
Was
the
that
internet
recently?
series. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
6 months ago or so.
It backed them down really fast.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wow. So you obviously know the right people to call. Like
John does.
y'all are so supported and you have such a great network. We didn't start with any kind of a network, and we've had a really hard time finding a network or the right one, or finding people that are brave. We'll go to the people we think are the right people, and they'll have some sort of backdoor like, oh, we can't because X, Y, and Z, but we're cheering for you.
Yeah, that's just so wrong. I saw your video, and I don't know when you posted it, but I think it was mid-December or so. I'm like,
Yeah.
I haven't heard from her in a while. Let me get her on the show. That was
Breaking news!
oh, what do we got?
Chris Christie dropped out of the presidential election.
Oh,
Not enough Twinkies. He's getting another stomach staple. What's going on?
I don't know. It just was announced. Like,
I knew this 6 months ago. He was going to drop out. This
Yeah,
is just
so
news to
everyone.
him.
but now it's official.
I'm from New York, and the Cape May Orca always was a blight on Republicans. So, Northeast Republicans suck. They're like Democrat light.
Basically, like Florida Republicans.
Ouch, Crump. Ouch.
where are you, John?
I'm in Virginia, right outside DC. I'm like 20
Where
minutes.
there
away
are
from
no
the-
Republicans.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I'm 20 minutes away from like the White House.
We just got to see the White House for the very first time, thanks to the lawsuit. In December, we flew to DC for one of the plaintiff depositions with the bus driver. We got this footage. I shared it. That's when you saw it. But what I loved, separate from the abuse of the lawsuit, was that my son was in homeschool studying at the time the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and writing a little report on it. And so very last minute, we flew up there for the deposition, and he said, "Mom, can we see it while we're here?" And so I think we had an hour and a half to spare off the airplane, and before we had to be, somewhere else, that we just booked it straight over there. He laid eyes on it. And then we wound up touring the Capitol. Well, before we left, we toured the Capitol. And so he saw the real paintings that were pictured in his workbook. And I'm like,
oh, neat.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And we got to meet Dick Heller while we were there. He showed us around.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
He picked us up and drove us all over DC. And at 11 o'clock.
Dick is definitely different from what you'd expect that he would be.
Yes. At 11 o'clock at night, we cried uncle. And we were like, Dick, you have so much more energy than we do. We're good. We're tapping out. We saw the Lincoln Memorial. We wore our Biden is the Worst shirt in front of the White House. Like, we saw some underground speakeasies. Like, he is a ham. We had a great time. And I met Dick through Christy Turtle, who introduced me to you guys. And so credit where credit's due, man, it wouldn't be without y'all's 2A community that we would have had this interview. So thank you so much.
Yeah, Dick is different from anyone I've ever met in my life.
Yes.
I'm going to be in the neighborhood. I got to see if I could hook up with Dick.
Oh, man, you've got to. That's the experience. That's the excursion for DC.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah, good times. Really, really fun.
Actually, Christy usually is in our chat. She was in, I think, yesterday or Monday. I don't see her today, but
I'm
I didn't give her a
excited
heads
to
up.
reach back out to her. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, I think things are going to make a turn because John's got connections.
Yeah. I'm switching to my other network, so
John did. Oh, okay, yeah, because you kind of clipped. So, John, you got the email I sent with her contact information?
I think it's a router. I'm on the network design.
You got to put another quarter in the machine?
No, I think it's the router's dying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
John, thank you so much for using the connections you have to help get our story out and leverage us. Thank you both for prioritizing our story and caring and understanding, because you could very easily blow it off like so many others have, or give us a 3-minute.
No, we're in for the fight.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I'm sorry. I didn't realize the
out.
situation you were in, and I would have had you on sooner if I knew.
I think that God's timing is perfect.
Amen. All right. Well, we've been on for about an hour.
Yeah, we're gonna get out of here. I gotta go do homework with my kids and stuff like that, and eat dinner and all that other good stuff. But I will definitely be in touch once I get contact back. The person at OAN, they film at like 5:00, so they're filming their show for tonight. So they probably won't hear back from them. I'm in contact with someone who can work it out with Fox News. Already hit up Steven Crowder. I hit up the other guys tonight.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. I'll be prayerful in the meantime, and I'll be excited to stay in touch with you guys. If there's anything I can do to help support those efforts, let me know. I'll send the clip from inside the bus, and I'll hang tight.
All right, that works for me.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys. Right. God bless you.
And once again, I'm going to paste the website in there. Constitutional rights are important to me, whether they're Second Amendment, First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Third Amendment, which we don't really house too many people, but cameras in your house might be kind of, especially FFLs, which they're trying to do in California, which is kind of crazy. Look, the Bill of Rights is very, very near and dear to my heart, and we need to defend all of it with zeal. So
well said.
So yep. So if you can help defend freedom of speech, go ahead and do that. You can also follow Rich at Flying Rich Firearms and Flying Rich on YouTube, Flying Rich _official on Instagram. Do you have any other things you want to plug or anything?
Me? No.
Not you.
Oh.
Joeylynn?
Oh, yes.
Anything you want to plug?
Thank you. Thank you. If anybody wants to follow us on Instagram, we have an account called Free Speech Defenders, or my personal account is Joeylynn Mesaros, JoeYlynn, Joeylynn Mesaros. On Twitter, we're Free Speech Def. I'm terrible at Twitter. I'm trying to get better. On Facebook, my personal account is my name, Joeylynn Mesaros, or Free Speech Defenders. And we post our legal updates as often as they come, and we try to keep you guys in the loop. What we see, we try to pass on. We probably talk way too much for somebody who's in active litigation, but we want the truth out. So,
yeah. After all, that's what I was talking about. In California, they want to put cameras and microphones in FFL's houses, which is a violation of the Third Amendment.
Amen. Yeah, I never understood the Third Amendment until like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, we are out of here. Thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode of John Crump Live with a guest that we probably don't have booked yet.
Correct.
All right. Thank you, guys.